Hi everyone, I'm back for more. So much going on. It's actually getting hard to keep up with everything. You spend the whole day watching the rehearsals, um, just keeping up on Twitter with everything, and filming videos as well. To all these rehearsals, so much going on. I've also been emotional today. I've actually cried physical tears. Why? Because of the United Kingdom. Yeah, we can get to that another day. But for now, um, this video is going to be about the second rehearsals that we've seen. So a 30-second clip from each country with the camera angles, how it actually looks on stage. And I'll be covering actually both semi-finals, but I'm not going to talk about every single country. That would take too long, and I only really want to focus on countries that I have an opinion on, that I actually want to talk about, so not every single country. So let's start with Albania. The reason why I want to talk about this one is because I'm feeling a tiny bit disappointed. So Secret is one of my favourite songs overall of the whole year. It's actually my number 3, so I really love it. But when I watch that rehearsal clip, the second rehearsal, there's something about it that just looks really underwhelming. Not really underwhelming, but just there's something missing. First of all, the colours, the pink, is just not what I imagined for this song. I thought it would be so much darker. I talked about this in my other video. I expected the black and red Albanian colours. I just expected it to be just a darker colour scheme. So the pink, I'm not sure of. I mean, it's only a 30-second clip, it's not the whole performance. There's no crowd in the audience. We're not getting a full picture. I'm just starting to think, though, will this maybe look a bit disjointed, a tiny bit messy, and not do as well as we think? I don't know, it's just that particular section of the song that they've used. Yeah, it doesn't blow me away as much as I would like it to, but I hope when we watch the whole thing for the whole 3 minutes, then it'll come together fine. And I still love the song. So I did just want to mention Albania. Another song I'm actually also a bit underwhelmed by from the staging is the Netherlands, and this is my number 5. I absolutely love this song. It's like my favourite Dutch entry, or one of them ever. It's a big favourite as well. But again, the staging, and now that we've seen the whole thing, on camera, again, that's a bit underwhelming as well. I watched that video of the rehearsal and I was like, oh, okay, that's it. I mean, of course, I knew it was going to be simple, that's fine. I expected it to be simple. I didn't really expect there to be a lot going on because it's not that kind of song, it is the kind of thing where you would just expect it to be just her, and that's fine. But there's still something about it that I just expected more from. But again, does it look empty because it literally is an empty stage with no audience? Is that the problem? I don't know. I'm not the only one who thinks this. I've seen a lot of people be a tiny bit concerned with the Dutch staging. But again, I really love the song. I hope it comes together well. But Albania and the Netherlands definitely stand out to me. as being some of my favourites of the whole year, but maybe not looking as good on TV as I would like it to. Something that looks absolutely brilliant, maybe even a winner moment, is Ukraine, of course. Yeah, this is looking good. You could say, oh, they're closer to the trophy, maybe, and I'd be happy with that if they win. It does give you like a winner vibe, a winner moment, I think. Especially, well, my favourite bit of the whole thing, especially from that clip that we have, is the clapping. When the audience gets involved, that would be such a really goosebump, brivety moment. Everyone in the arena clapping along. The way they walk out away from the stage into the audience or towards the audience, and you get those LED projections on the floor. Looks brilliant, yeah. And also Greece, Amanda Tengfield, another potential worthy winner moment, I would say, definitely. I think Ukraine and Greece are at the top of this semi-final. They are some of the best in this semi-final and overall, actually. Greece is looking very good too. I've talked about this in my first rehearsal video, so I don't really need to repeat myself, but yeah, big fan of the Greek staging. I would like to mention Norway. You just know that this is going to pop off live. It's going to be so good in the arena. All that pyro. What I actually really liked about this rehearsal clip is right at the end, when the light just goes off. There was something about that. I watched that, I was like, oh, okay, that looks good. Like that ending with the lighting just going off. Love that. It's going to be such an iconic moment, and it is going to do well with a televote. I'm sure it will. And it'll always be one of my favourites. Can't wait. I talked about Armenia in my last video about how I wasn't a huge fan of the white paper around the room. I do like how creative this looks. It is very creative. There's a lot going on. It is, yeah, creative is the word to describe it. But I'm still not really sure about it. It's still not really doing it for me personally. And I still don't know if it's enough to go through or enough to do well in the final if it does go to the final. I'm not sure. I'd like to see, of course, the whole performance, to see, what it's like for the whole 3 minutes. Does she get out of the room? Does she always stay in the room? We don't know yet. It's only 30 seconds. But I'm still thinking in the back of my mind, is it going to be an Island 2021 moment where it doesn't quite work out? It doesn't look that bad as Island. It does look more polished and not as chaotic as Island from last year. So it can't be that bad. But yeah, I'm not sold on it just yet, but I do appreciate that they are telling a story. She's in this room. So it's interesting, at least. I'd like to move on to semi-final 2 now, because I feel like there's a lot to talk about with semi-final 2, because it's actually looking good. I talked about how in my last video, my first rehearsal reaction video, how this semi-final is actually shaping up to be just as strong as semi-final 1. And there's songs in the semi-final that I didn't really have down as qualifiers, but now I do. And again, I'm just repeating what I said in my last video, really. San Marino could now be a qualifier, even though I still don't like the song, but you can't deny the performance looks so good. Serbia. Now, I I've never, well, I wasn't a huge fan of the song before. I didn't really like it. It's actually grown on me a bit over the past few weeks. I don't hate it as much anymore. I don't mind it now. Um, and the performance as well, it is good. I admit, yeah, it's good. And, before when I said, oh no, this is terrible, not qualifying, I take that back now. I can see it qualifying. I don't think it will do as well as people think in the final. I will stand by that. But I do appreciate it more now. It's very theatrical. The whole clapping, the hands on the screen, all of that. Yeah, it is unique. So I can see it going through, but I can also see it not going through. Like I can see it going both ways. Um, but yeah, I've grown to like it more now, and it does look good with the second rehearsal. Seeing everything come together, the LEDs on the screen. Um, yeah, I like it more than I used to. Something else that I don't really like in terms of the song, but when I watch the rehearsal clip, I think, wait, that looks good too. And it's Israel. This is another song, Israel, I Am. It's in my bottom five, one of my least favourites of the year. But I can't deny, when I watch that rehearsal, it does look good. Like he's giving you choreography. Um, it looks fun. And even though I wasn't really a fan of it, I watch it and I think, he is giving a good performance. Maybe he'll go through as well. There's a lot of uncertain qualifiers in not just this semi-final, but both of them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I mentioned Romania as well. Another song that I really like now, and I really like the staging for Romania, and it's another thing that I'd like to go through, but will it go through? Who knows? Let's talk about Ireland. So this actually looks good. Again, something else that looks pretty good. They've got pyro. It just looks good on camera, and it makes you want to support them because I'd like Ireland to go through. I really would. They've had a tough few years, not a great few years, but this I think is their best entry in a long time, and I would like it to go through, but there's still a part of me that thinks, they could just about miss out, and I can see it coming like 11th in the semi-final and just not making it through, which would be a shame, but I can see it happening because it turns out this semi-final is just as strong as semi-final one as well. So you never know. Let's hope they do, but I'm not entirely sure. But it does look good though. Let's hope she sounds good for the whole thing as well. Something I'm a bit worried about though is Malta. So again, I really like this song. It's kind of like a guilty pleasure of mine. But when I watched that rehearsal video, the second rehearsal, something about it, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people mention junior Eurovision, like she's doing a junior Eurovision performance, and yeah, I get that. It does look a little bit like that. Um, I mean, visually it looks good, but I don't know. I mean, she's doing choreography. I didn't really expect there to be choreography. Um, I do like the gold colours, the gold visuals, but there's something about it that makes you think, it is a little bit cheesy, and it might not go through. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't, but I do like it though. Something I'm not worried about though, or not anymore anyway, is Czech Republic. this is looking really good, turning into a bit of a dark horse maybe to do better than we thought originally, maybe. Um, from the first rehearsal, it looked great, and from the second rehearsal, it looks good as well on the stage. I didn't expect it from them. I don't know what I expected, but it looks pretty impressive. I like their purple outfits as well. Um, all the lighting, the strobe lights and LEDs. It looks like a party. Yeah, it looks really good. And like I say, I think maybe this could do better than some people thought. It could be a definite qualifier now. Maybe it's not a borderline qualifier anymore. It's looking good. So I haven't mentioned every single country, I just picked out certain things. But what I would like to briefly talk about is the idea of shock qualifiers, shock non-qualifiers. There has been some discussion about this after seeing all the rehearsals. Um, so semi-final one, you've got people talking about the idea of Austria not qualifying, maybe being a shock non-qualifier. It would be a shame because it is actually one of my favourites in terms of the studio version. I do still love Halo. But then, if we're being realistic, then maybe Austria could be a possible non-qualifier. It is anything's possible from that semi-final or any of the semi-finals actually. So yeah, maybe that is something to bear in mind, but I still feel like they probably will go through. And then you've got semi-final 2. I've noticed a lot of people over the past day or so talking about Cyprus not qualifying. And again, that would be a shame as well because I really like the different direction that Cyprus have taken. I like the fact they've gone for something different. So to not qualify with that would be quite disappointing for them. I wouldn't call it a definite non-qualifier now, but some people are. I think it's still very possible to go through, maybe not do that well in the final. I think people are a bit underwhelmed by the rehearsal video, by the staging. I don't think it's that bad, but maybe that's another thing to consider. Could Cyprus be a shock non-qualifier? Maybe. And in terms of shock qualifiers or unexpected qualifiers, I'm thinking of two, both from semi-final 2, and that's San Marino and maybe Israel or Ireland or even Romania. I don't know, it depends what people consider shock qualifier. It probably means different things or different amounts of shock to different people. But yeah, there could be some unexpected results. Of course there will be, there always is. So yeah, that is, I think, a good place to end. I haven't mentioned every country because that would take too long. I just wanted to pick out ones that stood out to me the most. But all in all, the camera angles, the stage looks pretty good. And we have had the first rehearsals for the Big Five. But I'm going to wait until we get the second rehearsal for the 30-second clip of the Big Five to talk about that properly. And there will be a separate video about that, and that could be the last video I do before the semi-finals, I guess, before we actually start. So just a video to round everything up, give some final predictions, and then the next thing you'll see would be me reacting to the qualifiers. So next week it's all happening. Can't wait. Thank you for watching. Thank you again for watching my live stream that I did with Eurovision talk the other day. That was a lot of fun. There could be another one on the way, hopefully, at some point. And I will see you very, very soon. Bye.